And it does seem to be a trend kind of leading into the other thing that we saw today. Ivan on Tech, every now and then, big account, smart dude. He talks or tweets about Pulse Chain here and there, but it's interesting because he's such a smart guy, but seems to like not, I don't think, see the opportunity with Pulse Chain and just has maybe because he was making money on Solana for the last year and a half or whatever. But today, and this is going to continue the trend of like kind of HEX OGs that are maybe not happy with the state of certain things right now, which again, in my opinion, is just because the Ethereum price is down really. But Ivan on Tech tweeted about like, hey, like Pulse peeps, I get, it's been a tough few years for you. I don't even know, whatever. Just like prices are down, but you're still there. Who gives a shit? It didn't matter. But people are obviously, it's an engagement type tweet, and people are responding to him about whatever they want to say. One tweet that was popular kind of was Motley Investor. Is this Motley? I don't remember his whole name. He was more
Motley Investor.
Yeah. So he had a pretty, I was even surprised because honestly, I've seen him kind of more bull posting here the last few weeks. I think he's been a pretty staunch PDI guy. I know that he was somebody who was supporting the killing of HEX. Maybe I'm speaking a little bit out of turn, but he liked the idea of letting it go away, essentially. But he tweeted in response to Ivan on Tech today, claiming, and here's the issue that I had with it. Like, I understand like being upset with the way things are going, or maybe not liking all the ways that Richard Hart has handled things over the last couple of years. But he was flat out in his statement claiming the things he was saying was factual. And again, I'm paraphrasing, so forgive me if I don't say it exactly the way that he said it. But he was saying things like that. Richard's essentially disappeared, and he said that he's done nothing for the chain since launch. That is something he said. And when he was combated on it, he said that all I'm doing is listing the facts, which are literally not facts. So that's just kind of the issue that I take with it, is he's just making shit up and calling it factual in there. And I get it. He's probably upset. He's probably upset at the HEX yield being lower. I mean, that's one thing that I think we're probably underrating, is with a lot of these deflationary tactics over the last couple of weeks of cutting down the incentive. What am I trying to say? Inflation, yield, as well as the HEX yield with longer, huge stakes from the OA. There may be people out there that already kind of made it, from last cycle with HEX, that were actively living off yield with short-term, very large stakes, that are now making a third maybe of what they were making prior to that with these, these huge cuts. So I don't know. I mean, what do you make of that? I mean, was it just Motley being caught in an emotional state or something, or just that maybe his yields got cut? Or to me, it's just like red candle prices are down stuff. And again, I could say it until I'm blue in the face, but I mean, this whole like SEC thing and all this other shit, like Ethereum's $2,700. That's why we suck so bad right now. So
so I don't know what Motley does. Like, I don't know if he has rolling stakes, if he sells yield. I don't know if he's retired. I don't know if he's still working. I don't know if he still has real estate. I've always liked Motley. He's always been a really good guy. Met him in Vegas, shot the shit with him a little bit. He's always been a good guy. I feel like that was just a lot of frustration. I feel like, we haven't done anything. And Richard has been kind of non-existent, but there's, I believe, good reason for that. Like, I'm 99% certain that his lawyer said, just shut up. Don't give them anything. Like, we're doing so well in this case. Don't give him anything. Just don't. Like, or maybe he had to sign something like a NDA that he couldn't live stream. He did put out that video for Christmas. So, I thought that was a nice bonus that we may not get. I didn't think we would get anything until the case was completely over. So, to say he abandoned it and he's done nothing, and people are getting a little fed up. I get it. It's part of the cycle. It's when things get frustrating. It's just another bottom signal in my mind that some of the people that have been the strongest supporters are eventually going to get frustrated, and it happens at different times for everybody. So I think that's what it was. I think you just saw some frustrations coming out. Again, I've never had a problem with Motley. I mean, I know he was part of the group that was PHEX only, sell your EHEX, don't whatever.
Yeah.
And I know him and some of his buddies that he hangs out with were the same way. Like Yashdeep was one of the ones, and I think maybe Wendy's as well. They were all in that same camp. Vince,
Wendy Tendies, is that who
yeah,
that was?
Wendy's for
Yeah.
tendies. I haven't seen
Yeah.
him online
I remember that guy.
for a while. I met him as well. Really
Yeah.
good dude. Like I talked to him more than I talked to Motley that night. But yeah, they're good dudes, and I just think the frustrations are mounting. You know, and I do believe Ivan's tweet was in response to a post of KDP's. So that's where all of this stuff came from. It's
Yeah.
like you guys deserve better and this and that. And
Yeah.
the funny thing is,
Concern
Ivan,
troll.
yeah, it was more of an engagement thing. I really think it was. Because I know Ivan was an early investor. He sacrificed. So if he sold, I'm not sure. So that's a question again. I don't know what his wallet is. I don't watch it, so I don't know if he sold out and waiting to get back in, or if he's not coming back. But he has supported the chain. His Morales thing has been very involved with listing things and putting different things on for this community. So I think it was just engagement, and I think it caught some people off guard. And it is what it is. Like I said, it's all part of the frustrations that mount that end up becoming bottom signals for the rest of us.
I totally agree. I think it's interesting just to see like kind of human behavior in the midst of it and stuff like that. And obviously neither of us are big tweeters or emotioners or anything, but it again, there is nothing that can be done when the market, the spear of altcoins is where it's at right now.
Yep.
I just,
Yep.
and that's what, and in a way, I think we should all be taking great comfort in that fact, actually. I mean, misery loves company. Like you should take, like Ethereum, it has been cucked for a year and a half. I mean, it's been horrible. Everybody's dunking on it, shitting on it. Vitalik's out there being weirder than he ever has in his life. Bitcoin only has run. All the maxis are saying that Ethereum is dead. Solana, which is the most like soulless now scam chain we know, beating Ethereum. I mean, it really is starting to feel like a big rotation back to, I know people are already using the phrase like utility season is coming and stuff like that. But it does feel like after the disgusting shit of the last year, and we talked about a whole bunch of it tonight, earmarked by what's happened just this past week on Solana, I feel like we are going to see that rotation back into the stuff that really does matter. There will be plenty of money to be made on memes along the way too, definitely a lot. But I think that we've got to see Ethereum perk up. And again, maybe it won't get to the heights that people previously thought this cycle, but it was horrible last year. And I think we're going to see a bullish year for Ethereum, which in turn is going to be a bullish year for Pulse Chain and many, many other altcoins. So anytime you're seeing like some of that emotion out there right now and people upset, especially if it's geared specifically towards Pulse Chain, look at what the Ethereum price is. And if it's still, 3,500 or less, go back to bed because nothing's changing, until it starts to move up. And again,
go touch some grass.
Yeah, and take solace in that, honestly. Like, we're all going to be down until then. And I am encouraged, and, Motley is entirely, completely wrong that Richard's done nothing for the chain since launch. That's laughably incorrect. And I think all these little preparatory things that we are seeing in the background right now are bullish that at least something's being done. Say what you will about like the pump tires thing, but like all these deflationary measures that have been being taken are good little preparations for when the price of Ethereum goes up and things are starting to happen,
Yep. I think those are all great precursors of actually things that have been done, things that he's able to do and control put into place for the right time for when it happens, it's really gonna, I think, exponentially make a huge difference.